Hello YouTube. Hello YouTube. We're doing another street lab. Az versus AK this time. I've been doing so many Kazuya ones, but I think maybe before Tekken 8 comes out, I'll have at least half the roster already. Kazuya versus half the roster, most likely. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, AK. We're talking about AK here. AK, in my opinion, he's a little bit underrated. He's hard to play, but he's a little bit underrated. See, he's not that bad of a character. He's not as tournament viable as some other characters, of course, because he's harder to play. He has to use his Weibo sometimes. You have to risk with him, with his throws, stuff like that. But he has very good tools. Very, very good tools. But let's just start talking about him normally, right? First, let's see which side you want to sidestep AK in general. So, AK is down forward 1. It's a very good down forward 1. I like this down forward 1. Tracks both sides a little bit. Like, it tracks left a lot. Like, you cannot even sidewalk it. Right? His down forward 1 is good. And his down forward 1 tracks right a little bit as well. If you do a sidestep block, don't do it. So the one thing you have to do is sidewalk it. Or do a full sidestep, like this one. If you even do a little bit of a sidestep block, it'll track you. Either do a full sidestep, just press down, just like this, or sidewalk for more consistency. So sidewalk right, or down forward 1. That'll work, but in general it's very hard to sidestep this because this is a good down forward 1. And be careful sidestepping AK in general when it comes to down forward 2. Down forward 2 is his basic don't step me tool. He's a 15 frame tracking mid, which is punishable. It's minus 12, but it's tracking move, it's plus 4 on hit, and if you do get counter hit, it's a launcher. And he does pretty decent damage when you do like this to this, right? 65 damage. That's pretty decent damage from down forward 2. It stops you from stepping. As I said, it is punishable, minus 12. But since we are talking about down forward 2, let's talk about down forward 2 mind game. A lot of people are not used to punishing down forward 2, but this move also has a mind game into it. Of course you have to punish it, but sometimes you have to duck as well, because there's a down forward 2 1. So if you try to punish down forward 2, you're gonna get hit by the high. Sometimes instead of punishing, duck this and punish the high. So the mind game here is very simple. Basically, you either punish down forward 2 with like 12 frame punish, back 1 2 2 2 with Kazuya, right? Something like that. Or you duck the follow-up. You have to guess there. You have to purely guess if the AK does the follow-up or does not do the follow-up. So sometimes you punish it, sometimes you don't, because you want the AK player to do this follow-up sometimes. Because if they don't and you never punish this is way too good of a move. It's way too good. So sometimes you have to punish it. That's down forward 2 mind game. Of course, down forward 1 on block also has mind games, but that goes for every character that has down forward 1 like that. Like down forward 1 to sidestep, or down forward 1 to jabs, stuff like that. Those are mind games, but those are very general mind games, and not unique mind games that AK has. What I'm gonna say in these kind of bits in the speed labs are like unique kind of mind games, which is like, you know, down forward 2 mind game. Very unique. Another unique mind game he has is with back to 1 and forward 3 4. But a lot of AK players don't use this. So back to 1 mind game is very similar to down forward 2. So back to 1 is a mid-mid. It's punishable just like down forward 2. You can punish this. But there's also a high extension like this one, which, you know, if you try to punish it, you're gonna get hit. And it's a normal hit launcher. Maybe a counter. I'm joking. A normal hit launcher. So you either duck it, play safe, duck it. Or punish the back to 1, which is punishable. But most of the time it's not worth it because, you know, this will launch you if you don't duck it, you guess it correctly. ZK's dash and low punch steppable. Forward forward neutral 2, right? This is steppable. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. That's his best low, by the way. Okay, and the forward 3. So this is usually used by AK players to confirm a counter hit, but all of this is guaranteed. If they don't confirm it, they either cancel with a back input or just do this. So the mind game here is very simple. If they cancel with a back input, you actually have 15 frames to punish it. So down forward 1-2 will punch. That's if they cancel with a back input though. But if they don't cancel the back input, just hold back, then it's -7. So the mind game here is like either he is -7 or you duck the follow-up. The last one's a hard. Right? It's a little bit safer mind game for AK, and I think this is a decent move. To use as a counter trap, it's pretty decent. Okay, that's not a unique mind game he has. Yeah. Let's talk about some other stuff. His down forward 4 is really good. The 12 frame mid, it's always good to have one. But can be stepped pretty easily. More or less both directions. But since the down forward 1 can be stepped to the right, it's better to step to the right. Something like that. Back 1, you also have to look out for that. This also can be stepped both directions, more or less. But I still prefer side step right most of the time. What else? Back 4, okay. Let's talk about forward 4 neutral 2 now. So this move, this is AK's best move. When AK does this, he's +7, it's 19 frames, you can't react to it. And he's in a huge advantage with mind games as well, because his mind games are very strong here. One of the things he can do, which is very common, is a frame trap like down forward 3. Which will stop any kind of retaliation. This will trade with a big jab. He will get a combo. The way you beat this is the sidestep. This is very common, one of the options. The other option he has to be safer is down forward 2. This is also a frame trap. This will counter any kind of retaliation. But unlike down forward 3, you can't step this. Either direction. This is the tracking. And then we refer back to the down forward 2 mind game I was talking about. Sometimes punish it, sometimes duck it. So this is also very common. Other than that, down forward 1 check and down forward 4 check, also very common. These things will stop you stepping as well and pressing. And it's fairly safe options for armor king. If they want to stay safe, most likely they use either of these two to check you. Or if you're respecting it a lot, they might mix you up. Basically do something like down 3 maybe. Which also trades. It's very good. And tracks really well. More or less both sides. And the thing is, Armor King is such a good situation after this, you can't do anything about this, unless you duck it. So that's really good. They can also use down 4 as a mix-up, which is faster. But other than the mids and the lows, what the unique mind game Armor King has is his throws. Yeah, because exactly, giant swing. So he can do this, do an instant giant swing. What this does is you can't sidestep it either direction. You can't backdash it. You can't really avoid it. The only thing you can do is duck it. But of course, if you duck it, you're gonna be susceptible to all the hits. So your best bet is practice breaking giant swings and just break it in that situation. But some Armor King players, the very cheeky ones, might use a 1+2 throw here. Like that. Either that, which will catch, I think, sidestep right. Yeah. So this will catch sidestep right, but you can avoid it pretty easily. But they might mix you up with that, but most of the time it will come either a 2 grab like this one, which you can see because of the hand, or giant swing. The 1+2 throw they might use this. Like that. That will be harder to break. Right? That's an instant shining, more or less. But you can still see the dash animation more if you like backdash. If you don't backdash and you sidestep, it will most likely win. Like that. But be very careful when it comes to these kind of grabs. Very, very careful. Like, and usually, it's always better to break a giant swing here. I mean, breaking giant swing and stuff like that is separate practice, so as long as you know it's a thing, it'll help. Okay, what else? Oh, and back four. Let's talk about back four. So this can be mixed, of course. It's a low, can be mixed by a mid. So there are two mixes here, more or less. The 4-4-2, which is like Jin 4-4-2 in a way. It's slower, but basically the same. Can be stepped easily, but it's a good move, especially at the wall. You get a good combo with the AK player, you know. Get fancy stuff, right? So 4-4-2 is one of the mix-ups. Let's check what we can do about this. So as I said, this is more or less easily steppable. More to the right than to the left, as you guys can see. That's why I usually say to step an IK to the right. This is one of the mix-ups. And on block, it's -8, and referred to like high minus mind game. He doesn't have anything unique from it. The AK players might just throw out the giant swing every time they're minus, but that's just normal stuff. It might happen. Oh, and I forgot to mention, 4-4 neutral 2 is hard to sidestep, but it's possible to sidestep. Like you guys can see right here. In the neutral, it's gonna be harder to do this, but it's possible. But I would not bet on it. A little bit more to the right than to the left. So if you do sidestep AK, do go to the right. Like that. Okay. I talked about 4-4-2, right? So you sidestep this as well. This is safe. But it has a -8 with a little bit of pushback. So pushback mind game. Something like back 1 might be there if you do use something too slow and stuff like that. But normally 4-4-2, they will respect the minus and they won't really push anything most of the time. Okay. And the best mix-up, which not a lot of AK players use, I don't know why, is back 4. This is his most broken mid. This one. This is his most broken mid move. Back 4 1+2. This is amazing. So basically, AK player can do this. And they see you ducking, they can mix you up with this. This can happen. And they can also use this as a mid check. Because it's 15 frames fast, pretty fast. This is best mid. So let's see the properties. Back 4, -9, a little bit of pushback. So the little bit of pushback makes the mind game a little bit stronger, but it's not that big. But the important part is it's safe. Of course you can step it to the right, just like I already showed almost everything. You can also step to the left with a slight tracking there, last tracking to the right. But more or less you can step it both ways. The tracking isn't that good. But the problem here is of course when you get hit by it, because you will get hit by it sometimes. It's a mid, if it's a fast mid. So you get hit, this happens, 35. Now after this, there's actually a very interesting mind game. After you get hit by this. One is you do literally anything. The armor king player gets a free down back to this right here. So from 35 damage, it becomes 43 damage. Literally anything. I mean, get up options basically. If you stay down, of course it won't hit. If you do any get up option, this will hit you. Like even up. Forward draw, for example. Everything like that. If you roll on the ground, it won't hit you. If you stay in the ground, it won't hit you. And the Armor King players usually mix this up with something like 4-4. Me personally, I do that. If they stay down, this will hit them. like that. Right? This is a mix-up. This is a pure guessing situation. You either get up and risk getting hit by forward 4 like that, or you don't get up. I mean, you either get up and don't get hit by forward 4, or you get up and risk getting hit by down back 2, which is guaranteed. That's that situation. So it's a double mind game there. So this is basically guaranteed if you do it. Any kind of get up option. If you stay down or roll, you risk getting hit by this. Oh, and be aware that even if you get up and you block this, armor kick is still plus here. So be very careful when it comes to it. Don't get up, they can grab you up. Yeah, they can, but grabbing is way riskier, and good armor kick players won't grab after this. Because if they do, like something like this, into a grab, and they guessed wrong, like they actually got up, they guessed wrong. This is launch punishable. Most good armor king players will not do this. They'll usually use this as a mix-up. Yeah. Or the roll spammers. Yeah. If they do that, this one right here, this is just +8. Doesn't give anything guaranteed. This is a 2 break. And this is the one you should be afraid of. If they do crouch grab, you almost always break this one in that situation. Because this is the only one that does damage. This is a 1 break, the other one's a 2 break. Okay. That's about back 4. Back 4 is amazing. Underrated move. Very strong. Mixed with this low and all the other lows. Very good move. Okay. So the way you deal with it, of course, is you try to step it, make it whiff, block it, anything but a hit. But it's still gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. Okay. What else to talk about? So I talked about 4-4-2. I mean, his main thing, which is the strongest thing, is 4-4 neutral 2, and his mix-ups with it. I can talk about the chain grabs as well, but this is something you have to lab for yourself. Like which one's the 2 break, which one's a 1 break, which one's a 1+2 break. That's something you have to lab for yourselves. That's like casual matchup knowledge that you just have to go in the practice mode, move list, check it out yourself. So I won't go over them that much. Back for 1+2, yes. Like Armor King in general in Forgotten Realm is way stronger than normal stages. Something like this becomes stronger. Every launch becomes stronger because they just do it. Instant shining, millions of damage. So yeah, Forgotten Realm AK very strong. Oh, I have talked about this as well. I almost forgot. This is the most caster thing he has. People call AK honest, but he has this. Very cancer to deal with. It has a lot of setups as well. It's like his best panic tool. So his panic tool is hop kick. Of course, hop kick is like the panic tool most people have. Most characters have. And then there's this move right here. So whenever you are in plus frames, the AK player can just smash this. Like, maybe something like this. Let's check that. See that? Even after down forward 1. Basically everything whips. Damn, even down forward 1 will whip. Very annoying move. I'm trying electric. Nah. Nothing works. Oh damn, 4-4-3? Low enough. Else also works. Now back 2, doesn't work. Yeah, very annoying. Most of the time you have to use a tracking move to make this whiff. But there are other ways to make it whiff as well, but let me tell you, in a real match, most of the time you'll block this. You can make it with a sidestep right, but it's very inconsistent. As you guys can see. One backdash most of the time is not enough, but if you sidestep right backdash, it will work sometimes. But it's very inconsistent. I would not bet on this whiffing. Something like Fang's up forward 2 or Jin up forward 2, you can step to the left, and most of the time it will whip. But this is the kind of move, it's very hard to make it work. It's possible. Like this is the situation where it's possible. When you sidestep right into a backdash. But it's very specific, and most of the time you will not make this work. So if you do hard read it, something like down forward 2 or a back 4 would be your best choice. Of course, if you decide to go for a Vortex, sometimes it will still hit, like 4-4-3 and a Hell Sweep. For Kazuya, right? So yeah, and when you block it, it's -13. Your best punish as a Kazuya player is down forward 4-4. This is your best punish. But even though down forward 4-4 is very good, it can whip. Look at that. Look at that. The range. Block, pushback. This is insane. Back 1-2 works sometimes as well. But I'm still a little bit more safe with down forward 4-4 because it has less of a chance of whipping. Even though it can whip as well. This move is very, very annoying. Crouch dash is just a mind and timing game. Yeah. The crouch dash is basically used to change up their timing with this, right? And this. So they don't instantly do this and this all the time. It's a timing change thing. It's risky, of course. Crouch dash is risky in general. But it's still strong. Especially with 4-4-2 and 4-4-4. Almost forgot to mention 4-4-4. Okay, let's talk about 4-4-4 as well. So this move can be used as a mid mix-up. It's a wall bounce with a lot of damage, right? Look at this. I didn't even do a good combo, but that's a lot of damage. So this move can be used as a mid mix-up just like this and just like back 4. Especially at the wall, this is strong. But it can be used outside of the wall too. But this move can be very easily stepped, just like 4-4-2. Of course, it matters how the AK uses it. Wave can realign, more or less. But it is easily steppable both ways. And you can easily punish it. It recovers pretty slowly. But let's talk about the block situation. So as you guys can see, it's -14. But you won't be able to punish this unless you're at the wall. The only situation where it's punishable is when you are at the wall and he does this. Like that. Of course, you can electric it as well. I'm trying to. It's been a while since I electric this. Gotta be honest. Messed up. But yeah, it's -14. At the wall, you can actually punish it, but outside of it, you won't be able to punish it most of the time unless you have a very long range move. Maybe Lily will be able to punish it with 4-2-3. Who else? Like a long range 14 frame rate. Anyone with a long range 14 or faster move will be able to punish this, even outside. But most of the time, and since we're talking about Kazuya here, you won't be able to punish it unless you are at the wall. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. The down back 3. Like down back 3 is the kind of move that can be very annoying, especially if you don't react to it. And you're like, fuck, I should have reacted to that. It's 23 frames. It's not that easy to react to. It's possible, of course. It's very doable. But when you get hit, you're like, fuck, I had to react to that. And the mind game here is very simple. It has a very simple frame trap with all 72, if you do get hit by it. Which you won't be able to step. Either way. And if you do press, you're gonna get countered. So it's either that, or any kind of low mix-up or a grab mix-up. Very, very simple mind game here. They can do a 1+2 grab like this, AK driver. They can do a giant swing, just a one break. It's very hard to see those two. And of course they can do lows, or something like this. Very basic mind game after down back 3 on 15. Now let's talk about down 3 and down 4. This is like his lows, right? The AK is confident they'll do that low into crouching with down 4-2. Yeah, they can do this into this as well. I don't see this that often, so I almost forgot to mention it. And this will be the backdash duck. They use this because of a backdash duck option select that some characters, not characters, some people use. But if they do this into this, the backdash duck will beat it. So basically, you backdash into duck, you block this. But if you automatically use a backdash duck, you also get hit by this. So be very careful when it comes to it. And this move is plus. You don't see it that often. Personally, I don't see it that often in a lot of AK players, but it's very doable. Okay. I want to talk about the wall mind game a little bit later. You know, this mind game. I'll talk about this a little bit later. Let's talk about down 3. Down 3 also has a mind game. I mean, literally everything has a mind game, more or less. If it's good, it has a mind game. Down 3 is good, especially because of the damage buff. The most common option after this is instant giant swing. It's +1. You can't even jab it, right? You can of course sidestep it or backdash it. In some ranges though, not always. If you're very close, you won't be able to backdash it. But most of the time in the real match, you won't be point blind most of the time. So giant swing, of course, you can break it, but if you respect it too much, they might just do a 1+2. But you can also sidestep either way, or backdash. And this is easier to backdash as well. You'll be able to backdash this point blank. So the throws are kind of fake. You won't be able, like, he doesn't have the range for it. Right? But because these things exist, something like this, you're forced to respect it, more or less, unless you do a high pressure move. So the mind game here is, AK can either sidestep, of course, either direction. If you do press something, they'll be able to whiff punish you with a very good whiff punisher, Dark Upper. Back 1-2, shoulder. AK's whiff punishment is one of the best in the game. So you kind of don't want to whiff against him. He wants you to whiff. But that's one of the things. If you respect him too much, he might go for pressure, like forward neutral 2. Or he might just backdash and wait for you to do something just like a sidestep would. Right? Basic mind game with down 3. The unique thing is the grab. That's the only unique thing. There's also a mind game after down 4 as well. The down 4 and hit, because of this low pushback, creates a kind of sense for the player to dash in. So you get hit by this, a little bit long range, and you try to dash in first before buttons like forward 4, right? Or forward 4, down forward 1. So dash into buttons. And there's a setup. This is my favorite setup. It's so cheesy, but it works really well. The down forward to wall stand 2. This works because of that. Since the opponent has the feeling of getting closer first before pressing a button, the dash button gets beaten by this wall standing 2. Now, of course, this is a lot of damage. Right? So this, upper into whatever, right? A lot of damage. There was a wall there, so I had to adapt the combo, but that's gonna be a lot of damage, basically. So be careful when it comes to that. Down 4 to wall standing 2, it's a mind game. Of course, you can beat it very easily if you don't press anything. You can be stepped. Not to the right, though. I just found this out myself, by the way. I usually just backdash, I didn't even know. So this has tracking to the right. You can step it to the left. But the best thing you can do is just backdash, so you don't risk anything. A simple backdash will make you swift almost all the time. This into wall stand 2. But of course, if you backdash, you're gonna be respecting him, which means the armor king player can continue pressure. Basically, that's the mind game. But the unique thing he has is this wall standing 2, which comes out in 14 frames. So if you do press, make sure to press something at least 13, like this. If you do press 14, it will trade. Not good. You don't want that. So at least 13 frames fast. Okay, what else? After every kind of plus frame, he also has a grab mind game, which is very unique, so let's talk about that as well. Something like back 1-2 has a mind game when it comes to grabs. Something like giant swing immediately after that. Or Shining Wizard, instant Shining Wizard immediately after that. Or other 1+2 throws, something like that. Which makes it very, very easy for you to think, oh, I should probably duck now. Because there's a grab mix-up and it's very annoying to deal with, right? Who wants to get grabbed like that and be in the mix? So you duck there. But one of the best options you can do, right? Fuck. After you get hit by this, you sidestep and break the one grab. Because if you do sidestep, the 1+2 grab, this one right here, for example, damn, it still tracks you. My bad. My bad. I was thinking about a different situation. But yeah, most of the time in that situation, it's gonna be very hard for you to deal with this. Of course, you can tell sometimes. I was thinking about the whole different situation. Sometimes that whiffs when you sidestep the one. But just expect this mix-up. Not all AK players do this. Most of the time they'll do a giant swing. Most of the time they'll do just this. So break a one grab. It's gonna be way more worth it for you to break a one grab anyway. Skate Trip, hello. Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Of course, you can duck the grabs and launch him, which, you know, is risky for the AK player. But the AK player can just do a down forward. You want to check you. You want to be able to duck it like that. I don't know why it's step. You won't be able to step it either direction. But you'll be able to sidewalk it like this. But as I said, if you sidewalk, the grabs will catch you. And you'll be able to... you won't be able to, but you have to get mixed just correctly. Or at least try to look at the hands, the animation, because Giant Swing, for example, is a very unique animation when it comes to other 1+2s. But it's very hard to do. Like, I can't even do it consistently. I really can't do it. Hard to do. But of course they can do something like down forward 2 to stop you from stepping. They can do down forward 4 to also check you. You can also do more advanced stuff like forward 4 2, a little bit slower, riskier, with more advantage. Stuff like that. You can even do forward 3 to check you as a counter hit, because he's +6 and this is 16. So worst case scenario, this will trade with a dick jump, right? So they can also do that. So be careful when it comes to back 1 2 on 3. And some Armor King players, if they really want high reward, might do down forward. Down back 4. Not down back 4. Down back 2 4. Especially at the wall, this will just hit you. This into this. The wall spot. So if you step it, it hits you. Step the other side, it still hits you. Duck, it will hit you. So you can't really beat this unless you just block it and then duck it. So this has a unique mind game as well. You can duck the second hit, of course. Like that. You can punish it, do whatever you want. But he also has a mid. But the way to beat this little mix-up is to do a fuzzy duck. The mid is way slower than the high. It's not that easy to do, but it's very doable. Like do a duck, do a get up. So the mid, this mid is punishable. And the high, of course, is not punishable. You do the high. Do the damn high. -9, pushback, so be careful. It's a -9 with pushback mind game. So if you do a little fuzzy duck, something like this will happen, right? You'll fuzzy duck this while still blocking this. And, you know, react to whatever's gonna happen and punish it. So that's the way to beat this. It's not a real mind game, but you can fuzzy it. The real mind game that starts is when AK player does just this. When they do just this and you fuzzy all the time, they might use that frames to, you know, continue pressure, but it's not that scary. It's really not that scary. Like even just this is punishable, but -11. Okay. Whilst, I mean, in the neutral, yeah, that's very important. In the neutral, you have to look out for this move. This move right here. So whenever AK is in the neutral, a little bit like in this range, not this a little bit too far, something like this, right? From 3 to 4, basically. You can expect the CD1 to check you. This is like an electric order. Very, very long range electric. Of course, they can check you with Dark Upper as well. So either expect this, which is also a check, or Dark Upper. Both of them are very very checks. I was about to say both of them are very checks, but yet they're good checks. So when you're in the neutral, always do a little bit of steps just in case they do this, this, or this. But be wary that those steps might catch this. I mean, this might catch you. Of course, you can step it sometimes, but most of the time you won't be able to. And you're gonna get hit. But be very careful when it comes to that. So be aware and sometimes duck it as well. Because that's how you beat it. You duck it. Of course, ducking is scary, but it's possible. And when it comes to this, Dark Upper, basically treated like a keep out electric. But unlike an electric, the recovery is worse, right? It's not an electric, it's Dark Upper. You'll be able to punish as much as you are. Right? And if you do block it, it's -10. And of course, you can also step this. It has a bit of tracking to both directions. More to the left than to the right. Damn, he has a lot of tracking to the left, actually. But you can step it to the right, more or less. What the fuck, damn. Like that. It has a lot better tracking than I thought it was, because I used to step it more or less consistently. Not consistently, but... yeah. But it's very good tracking, damn. Even I'm surprised. But it is stepable to the right, so if you do in the neutral step to the right a lot, you have the chance of stepping this as well. But be careful, it can still hit you. You don't want to hit you. Tracking like that on electrics. Right. Yeah, the tracking is decent. Way better than I thought it was gonna be. And 4-4-3 is one of the options, but you don't see it that much. This is basically for steppers. If you step, this will happen right and you get comboed. Shove. You see shove at all, so I won't talk about it, even though it's not that bad. But it's not as good as kick, so I won't really talk about it. I think wall combo is left. Oh yeah, I forgot. One of the mixes that AK players also use for crouch dash is a crouch dash 4. This one right here. So if they want to mix you up with this or this, they might use a crouch dash 4 if they see you crouching. Right? This gives this guaranteed. AK player will most likely get back after this or continue pressure. Basically another mix-up option. The best way to deal with this is a step, because this move, not a step, backdash. If you backdash a lot, most of the time this will whiff. It has horrendous range. Unless the AK player commits to more wave dashes than normal, this horrendous range and it will whiff. Not to mention you can also step it, like this. So I really don't like this move. I almost never use it as a mid mix-up. I really dislike it. It can be stepped, it can be backdashed, bad range. Not like it launches, right? It gives decent damage with either the stomps or the shoulder. Decent enough, it's not bad. But if you compare it to back 4, which does all this, also gives a mind game with down back 2, this. It's also safe, there's more range. Better mind game on block, because this on block is horrible. It's -9, and it's the worst kind of -9. In your face -9. While back 4 is pushback -9. Like that. Then you got mind safe there. So yeah, way better. Yeah, why use that when you have back 4? But some AK players might use that. So this is a mix-up way stronger than like CD4. Way stronger. This does a little bit more damage, of course. But still, this has a mind game which can do more damage than the CD4. The back 4, very good move. Very, very good. Okay. What else? Yeah, this is another tracking option he has. He can use it. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's talk about this as well. While I'm at the down forward 1+2. So this move is tracking mid, which is -4, which is very good. Little minus. So the mind games are strong. You can still move after this. And you can't do anything too slow. Like this into back 1, it can work. So don't be surprised if that's the thing. But the big thing about this is this on hit to this. So if you do back roll, this is back roll catch. This will hit you. Against AK, just know that this is the thing. This is the thing. Don't hold back in this situation. This is the setup. Do not hold back. There are a lot of setups for AK. Most of them are after those kind of knockdowns or for grabs. Like after one of the chain grabs, he also has a setup. But I won't dwell on that too much. That's very specific stuff, and you have to lap that on your own. Like, but I guess I'll tell you one of them, right? Because there's a lot of them. Not this one. Not this one. The most common one is this. This. Get hit by that. Get hop kicked. This is a very common one. I'm selling out all the AK brothers here because I love AK as well. But after you get hit by triple punches, this is a back roll catch. So any kind of triple punch. There's another triple punch. This is not the only one. But it works on both of them. You hold up, it still works. So free hopping if you do hold back or up. Don't just side roll. Bam, still hits it. But yeah, this is a setup. Kazuya's down 4-1+2 into 4-2-1. Oh yeah, the thing has amazing pushback as well. I already talked about the -4, right? But there's very good pushback, especially at the wall. Just like Evil said. Wait. Go to the wall! There we go. There's a unique pushback at the wall. And because of this, you can't really press immediately. Not to mention you don't want to press against AK in general, especially in this kind of situation. Because the only thing you can do is just backdash. Confirm it with 421 million damage, right? That's a lot of stuff. You don't want to press. But since it's only -4, the AK player still gets a lot of advantage, and so be careful when it comes to doing anything. So at the wall, just like Evil said, this and 421 can happen. I don't see it that much, but it can definitely happen. Like -4 situations are scary. Nice combo! Let's go. I love that. Sion abused it a lot. Oh, he does. Damn. Yeah, the -4 is very strong. For a move like that, being that little minus, it's pretty good. It's just slow. 23 frames being slow, it's a little bit iffy, but very usable. Still good. Okay. If it hits the wall, yeah. If it hits the wall, of course, it's a launcher. But if you're playing against him, that won't really help you. It's if you play it, that will help you. It's like the angle, right? I even know the angle. It's this angle right here. I'll show it anyway. This one. That angle. There we go. It's the same with Kazuya's like this. Those kind of things can get a launcher in those specific angles. Okay, well, let's talk about it. I think the wall combo and the rage situation is all that's left. At least that's all I can think of for now. Yeah, let's talk about those. Let's do the wall mount game situation. So after you get splatted at the wall, doesn't matter how, after a combo, after 4-4-2 or 4-4-4, doesn't matter. Most of the time you're gonna be caught in the mind game. Which is this into a wall standing forward. So this is very common. Almost every AK will do this because it's that good. It's very, very good. So this wall standing forward basically does everything. Oh, wait. Let's do this so we don't go hard. Basically does everything but hit you grounded. You do literally anything, hold back. Spring kick hits you. Even a side roll, it'll hit you. And this boosts AK's damage a lot. You can sometimes side roll to that side, I just side rolled, but it's very, very inconsistent. And it depends on the angle, just like this side roll right here. So it's side roll, which side is it? Left. But dependent on the angle of the wall and a lot of stuff, it's very inconsistent. Most of the time it will still hit you. So the mix up here is you either stay down, literally don't even roll, just stay down to avoid that while staying forward, or get up and eat the while staying forward. But of course, AK has a lot of options for it. A lot of options. The best options, the ones I use anyway, is after they stay down. How do I make him stay down? I guess I'll just use the option. So this, I use a stomp. This one. This one, the option, it's pretty common. Some AK players start doing this as well. But I'm proud to be one of the few AK players that start doing this very early. I'm very proud. So this, you stay down, you get stomped. This is one of the things I was doing and some AK players do right now as well. But of course you can duck it. And all of them are launch punishable, -16. But the beautiful part about this, so let's talk about this. The very, very beautiful part about this is a mix-up. You cannot tell when the AK will stop. So it's basically a punish mix-up. You don't know if the AK will stop after the first stomp or the second stomp. We're not talking about the third one because of course he will stop, there's no fourth one. So you have to guess which stomp he will stomp at. You have to guess it, and then punish him. If he does only one, you have to instantly punish it. If he does two, you have to wait for the second one because if you do instantly punish the first one, the second one will hit you. So basically, you guess it. So the best thing you can do, one of the very best things you can do when it comes to dealing with this stomp mind game, is this. Wait, I'll show you. To make the mind game a little bit easier, you duck into a low parry. This works really, really well. The mind game is still there, but there's like one less option to it. Because you don't have to guess if he stops at the second or the third one, because of the low parry. But you're still guessing if he stops at the first one. So instead of being a three-way mind game, like first one, stop, second one, stop, or third one, it becomes a two-way mind game. I've done this before as well against an AK player. Who was it? I played against a very good French AK player. I low parried his stomps. So it works really well. So the only mind game here is if he stomps at the first one. Then you have to instantly punish it because the low parry won't do anything. But low parry is still a very good option. So to avoid the additional mind game. Okay. What else? Yeah, the other options he has is throws, of course, but I don't find throws that good. But of course you can use it. You can definitely use it. But I'll show you why I don't find it that good. So this into the throw, like this one. So this is strong, of course. You stay down, it hits you, you don't break it. Let's say you don't break it. This guarantees the back one too. But it's almost always worth it for you to mash 2 here. That's 2 break, the throw I just did. You see a throw, mash 2. It's almost always worth it for you to mash 2. Because this is the scariest option he has. If he does a 1 break, let's do a 1 break. I'll show you how the 1 break looks. This one right here. It's fine to not break it. It's way less scary. I mash 2, 1 break, there you go. It's 30 damage, of course, better to avoid it, but it's way better than being at the wall, getting dealt 32 damage into another mix-up and all that stuff. Way better to just get hit by this. Into mash 2. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you can't react to this this little crouching animation. If you don't mash it, it will still hit you. It can be annoying. Okay. But the big why I don't like it is because it's launch punishable. If they guess wrong and you actually get up, they get launched. At least if the player knows what they're doing, right? So this. They do a grab. And they guessed wrong. You actually got up. I can even delayed hopping. That's how minus that is. That's why I don't like this. This is very, very minus if they guess wrong. Of course, I can electric it. Delayed hop kick works. You can do literally anything you want. So make sure to always launch this. Do not let them get away with this. Just don't. Never. That's why I don't like it. Some AK players can still use it, especially on the harder. If they want a lot of damage, they can use it. But it's very risky. They can just get launched for free. And there's also one more option that some AK players do. It's like down 3. Well, not one more, a few. Basically things that hit grounded. They can use down 3 that hit you, which is also a low mix-up, just like a stomp. And of course, if you do get up ducking, they can mix you up with forward 4-2, forward 4-4, and all that stuff. So the mind game has a few layers on it. If they use a low, like a stomp, immediately after this, and you get up ducking, they might decide that to do a mid and wall splat you. It can be a thing. Or they can use forward 4-4 to do this while bouncing to 1,000,000 damage. But forward 4-2 is better, of course it's safe. So be careful when it comes to that. What else? They can also use forward 4 neutral 2, basically the same kind of mind game. This it's grounded, it's a low, mix you up. Down 3, same thing. Yeah, forward 4, that's true, there you go. They can use forward 4 as well. There's a mid option that's also a mix up to the lows if they do use lows, which will also keep their turn as plus and it'll also keep you grounded, get you grounded. So that is very strong. But the thing about forward 4 is I think they have to do this fast enough, right? Nah. Most of the time they can do this fast enough. I don't think you can counter this. They're really unreliable to counter this. I don't see forward 4 that much. I'll usually see the other options, but yeah, forward 4 also pretty good. Okay, ain't they AK lab? Yeah. Someone requested the Kazuya versus AK speed lab. So this is a very strong situation. Very, very good situation for AK. I think AK is a little bit underrated, I'm gonna be honest, but he's hard to play. That's one of the reasons you don't see that much AK. But his moves, like he has very good tools. Down forward 2, very good. Down forward 1, amazing. Good punishment, good punishment. The only thing he lacks is like good wall standing punishment. But he also has good mix-ups with back 4, with all the mids with forward 4 neutral 2. He has crouch grabs, very annoying to deal with. Giant swing and all those grabs. I mean, he's good. He's not bad at all. Yeah, let's talk about the rage situation now. Amazing 10-hit string. How's a 10-hit string again? This to something like this. I forgot. But yeah, YouTube folks, remember there's a low after this. AK player may use this to finish you off. They can't do this. This into low. Imagine you have like 1 HP and you try to hit him with jabs. But yeah, be careful about that. If you have 1 HP, they might finish you off with that. It's very unexpected, so just be aware. Yikes. Let's go back to the neutral. He has rage, right? Hit down forward 1 works the same as the DJ down forward 1-2 forward. Oh, you mean this, right? I mean, isn't it always +5? I thought it was always +5. It can be +1. I know before the patch it was +1, so I thought they buffed it. Damn, I didn't know about that. How do I make this +1? Damn. Okay, now let's talk about the rage situation. It used to be +1 before patch. they change it? Yeah, they might have changed it. Before a patch, this used to be bare level plus. Now it's plus 5. I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, the rage situation. This one right here. So of course, AK's crouch dash mix-up is scary because of all those moves I listed before. Back forward, forward equal to, down to, crouch grabs, all that thing. It's scary. But now with rage, you have an additional thing to worry about, which is the rage drive. This is a 20 frame high, which some people can react to, but it's very hard to react to. I would not even bet on reacting to this. Really not. Especially on a tournament setting. In tournaments on PS4 with nerfs, no way you're reacting to this. So most of the time this will be a mix-up. Basically a high mix-up that you want to duck. And you cannot step this. Let's say you step it. Look at that. Cracking and missed. But this will still hit you. And this guarantees a throw, and if you get tombstoned, GG well played, 58 damage. It won't be 63, this is in range. It's 58 damage. If I remember correctly anyway. So that's a lot of damage. That's basically guaranteed. They can also do a giant swing. Like, if they're in this sort of angle, and the wall is right behind them, they can do a giant swing. And you'll get hit for a lot of damage as well. So something like this, wait. Like this, giant swing. You can't break this. 70 damage for free. So be careful when it comes to this rage drive. And it is a mix-up. I might say, oh, react to it. Sure, if you can't react to it, just react and duck it. React to it and duck it, right? Easy enough. But if you can't react to it, it's more or less a mix-up to all the other mids, like back forward, CT4, forward forward 2, stuff like that. Ah, the game is wrong itself? Let me check it. Oh god. Why can't I back one? What the fuck? What's that recovery? Damn, that's my jab being shit. My bad, man. That's my jab being absolutely horrendous. Oh my goodness. My fucking jab. But yeah, I guess that's it, more or less. The only plus one. No, my jab is whiffing there. I can't really check it. Wait. Yeah. Now I can check it. There we go. There we go. So yeah, just like Evil said, the game is fucked. I actually always thought this was plus 5 because, you know, it looked plus 5. And frames say plus 5. But you can make it plus 5 with a special input, but that's for the AK players, more or less. Fake buff. How is it possible? I'm not sure. I think you forward 4 just like down forward 1-2 of DJs. That's very weird. 10 hit strings are bugged? Oh really? I didn't really notice that. But yeah, this is more or less it. I'm pretty sure I might have missed something. I most likely did. I didn't talk about everything. But hey, it can be very helpful. I talked about most of the mind games, most common things you can see anyway. And yeah, YouTube, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later.